Who's Angela almost
Who's
messed up there.
Angela? Angelia Poon? Yeah, I don't think that's a real person. Well, anyway, on that note, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name's Ben Secker. I'm here to answer your shooting questions. But today, I don't know shit about shit because we're talking about Open Nationals, and I didn't go. Nick didn't go, but Hopkins did go.
I shot the
Boom,
important.
Open
I shot
Nationals,
the
baby.
important match of that. L10.
L10 minor.
L10. You went and shot L10 using your production gear. I
Yeah,
can tell that you
not the
took the match.
smartest thing.
Yeah, you took the match very seriously. I can tell. Right?
Yeah, for my first stage, and then it was done.
Okay, so what did you think of the match?
It was tough. It was probably the hardest match I've ever shot.
Whoa!
Shot difficulty-wise, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Just the amount of shots they had with no shoots on them, and the distance on some of the shots.
So
And
talk us through it, because I know I mean, a lot of guys were like, well, they had a partial target at 30 yards, and then if you like go there and look at it, you're like, yeah, that's maybe.
They really did. They actually had a partial target at 30 yards.
How partial?
4 inches of lower A zone available.
Holy shit!
With a no shoot on the bottom of it.
No shoot on the bottom. So you had it was like basically one of the. You get the head and part of the neck, so you're basally going for C's and B's.
Yeah. I just wanted to hit Brown, which didn't really work out. And then they had this crazy slider where they had 3 targets and 2 no-shoots on it. The same slider we shot at IPSC Nationals, but they had 3 targets and 2 no-shoots on it. So it was super tough.
Those targets were hardcore partial, like no C zone half.
Yeah, exactly. The no-shoot was up to the A zone on one side.
Yeah, I saw that on video.
So I elected to shoot at the headshots, and
was it the same speed as IPSC Nationals?
Yes, it was.
They had wide open targets at IPSC Nationals, and half the guys on our squad had misses anyway. Right?
Yeah, so they added a target and made them partial, and so it was hard.
Okay, but
I elected to shoot at the headshots, and that did not work out.
So here's a question that I don't know if it's relevant or not, but were you squatted with open guys as well, or were you?
No, I was squatted with basically a L10 squad, L10D squad.
L10 minor?
L10 minor squad, yeah.
Okay.
Was it really?
No, it wasn't. I was the only one shooting minor. There was one open dude. The rest were shooting major.
Okay, so you think it's the most difficult match you've ever shot. Was that too difficult, not difficult enough, or just right?
I think it was... Man, I'm going to get a lot of shit. I mean, everybody had to shoot the same stages, but it was difficult.
Was it fun?
It was...
That's a key question.
It was not fun. Like, some of the stages you get up there and be like, this again, I got to shoot all this. I mean, but I like the courses where they had variation in the courses. So they had a lot of short, medium, and long courses.
Well, hold on. We'll come to that. In terms of the difficulty, would you maybe have felt different if you'd had an open gun?
Yeah, I think it would have been a totally different match with an open gun.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leading earlier. I was going to say, were those shots hard by open gun standards?
That's totally fair. I think that's fair to assume. I don't think they set it up for the main L10 match with the open side match, but you never know.
So you think it was more set up?
It was definitely
set up for open.
Yeah.
It's an open match. Yeah, it's understandable, obviously. So.
Yeah, I think it was. That's 100% accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So a guy posted a review to Duty of the match. I'll stick this in the show notes on YouTube if anybody wants to get linked up on this thread. But he said, I was not entirely impressed. I mean, I don't know who the fuck this guy is or how many nationals he's gone to or whatever, but he said, staff was great, stages were pretty good, food at the range was pretty good, there was a lack of information regarding the awards banquet, almost every stage had the start position changed or changed the way the stages were to be shot. Example, 25-yard strong handle plate rack changed to freestyle.
Well, in
Or whatever.
that he's referencing from the limited match to the open L10 match.
Okay, I'll keep going. Phil was a fucking joke during the awards banquet. The way the blocks worked out, it seemed more like 3 small local matches shot on back-to-back-to-back days. And Universal Shooting Academy is a great range, but Frostproof / Sebring is a shithole. So, what did you think? What do you think generally of those guys? That guy's bullet points.
I think it's good. I think the staff was good. Stages were good. Good mix. It was tough for iron sight shooters.
You don't find a whole lot to disagree with in there. Is kind of what I'm asking.
No. No.
All right. A dude who's been shooting forever, who's actually Shock Bottle, Roy.
Yeah.
He posted on there that the stages were hard and mostly good. The information about the awards blew. The stage change-up from limited was good for not moving any walls or activators or swingers. Did you see the way the limited match was set up?
I saw some videos, and I actually thought they did. This is probably the best and most different changeover they've ever done with the back-to-back nationals.
Really?
So yeah, I actually really believe that.
Okay, so he says this is the most interesting comment, just because the guy who's making it, because he's been shooting for a long time. I mean, he's gone to nationals, he's shot internationally. He says, nothing really memorable. Long ago, nationals had the rep of the biggest, baddest match of them all. Fanciest stages, biggest round count, most stages, coolest props, biggest prize table. It may not have ever had all those, but that was the rep, and some stages became legendary. Now, not so much. So you've been shooting national matches for quite a while, Hopkins. What do you think of that statement? That it's kind of like nationals does not have the reputation it used to.
I think it's probably. I mean, we all shot production nationals. It was kind of the award ceremony was basically non-existent, and I mean the things that surprised me at the match was how they had a good caterer there for the awards banquet, which was outside in the open tent or the pavilion thing.
Mm-hmm.
They actually brought in a caterer that was like on par with some big hotel you'd have it in a banquet room. They had free beer. They had a live person playing music, kind of like IPSC Nationals. All that was good. Surprised me.
Okay.
Being the biggest, baddest match, I felt like I've shot at least several matches on par with the match.
Yeah. Hopkins, tell me what you think of this. So I've talked to quite a few guys, just anecdotally, of course, that have gone to their first nationals was this year, be it single stack, production nationals, the nationals that you shot, limited nationals maybe, and I think to a person, everybody I talked to this year who's like, hey, I went to my first nationals, they were like, yeah, I went there and I just thought it would be more, thought it'd be a bigger deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were expecting, but they weren't like pissed off or like feeling chipped. They're just like, yeah, I thought it'd be more. Do you get that sense of a lot of people kind of talking that way?
I think they build it up more than it probably is. I mean, that's one thing I can think of.
USPSA builds it up?
No, people in their mind build it up more.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know that USPSA really...
Not like, if I was going to say like the most impressive match would be the World Shoot. How they had opening ceremonies and like all the vendors were there and all the countries were represented. I mean, that was probably the most impressive. But there's also probably way more money involved in that.
Yes. All right, so Nick, you're going to want to get involved in this. Did you happen to read the blow up on the Enos forum about the stage diagrams for this match before they went up?
I did.
All right. So I think we got to have a conversation, guys, about sort of what people's expectations are for those stages and what makes a good stages or good match. I think the complaint generally was that there was too many short courses at this year's Nationals. Hopkins, you read all this?
I think one of the things was round count was an issue. I heard some people bring up.
So low
Now,
round count.
that's an issue people brought up. I don't think that's an issue I have. I didn't have that issue.
I gotta find this.
It's on
Find
a-
this comment on Enos. It was.
I don't think it's
pointed.
fair to start. I'll just say I don't think it's fair to start criticizing a match based on a bunch of stage diagrams. You know, to me that's ridiculous.
It's the 2015 USPSA Handgun National stage repeats, I think.
Yes, that's the thread. I'm gonna put that up in the show notes. You don't think it's fair to start criticizing the stage diagrams?
No. I really
There's been a couple matches where I looked at the stage diagrams and I was like, this looks so fucking retarded. I'm not even gonna go.
Well, that's never happened to me. I've decided very occasionally to not go to a match after having experienced that match in person, and then looking at diagrams and seeing that they are like the same, and so I feel like I know how they're going to build those stages.
Yeah.
But just looking at diagrams, come on.
Yes. Okay. So, I think I think most of the complaining had to do with Hopkins. It had to do with the round counter and a lot of short stages.
The round count and the repeat of some stages, which, I mean, USPSA makes no bones about it. They put classifiers in there that actually haven't been used as classifiers yet, just to get data.
Yeah.
So, like, I think at least 2 of the stages were shot at single stack production, and then put the national so they can get data. Which,
Well, did you have a problem with the mix of stages when you went there and shot?
no, I thought it was fine. I thought it was perfect. I think people that want 32 round stages for a whole match don't know what a match should be.
Whoa. I feel like USPSA does run and gun, high round count stuff really well, but one thing that we don't do is other stuff. Interesting technical short course type stuff.
Yeah.
Nick, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, especially, I really enjoyed the IPSC Nationals experience in terms of the variation in quality stage design. I don't like every element of the IPSC experience. Like, I'm also not a big fan of the walkthroughs, obviously, but they had so many short, interesting courses there that you really don't see that in USPSA. I agree. I gotta agree with that. So having a few of those mixed in would be cool.
I'd say one of the hardest stages at the match was a medium course with the slider on it. I thought it was probably too hard for a iron sight shooter with the speed and the amount of target that was shown, but I'm sure people will say, "Oh, everybody got to shoot it, so the same."
Everybody shot the same stage.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that the stage was hard.
I'm going to pull up the results for that. Now you got me curious.
There's one thing I noticed here also. So I looked through the limited results and the open results. Hopkins, did you see the limited match on the ground, or did you not get there?
No, I did not.
Okay. So at least with the limited, if you look at like the top 5 limited shooters, like every single one of them, I think, that I looked at had what I would consider to be a lot of penalties. Like, I think Dave had like 6 mics and won the match in limited. Okay, which seems like an obscenely high number to still be in contention to really win. But everyone was kind of in the same boat. At least 4, I think, for everybody. When you look at open, you got really a mix. You got a couple guys with only 1 or 2, and then you got a couple guys with like 6 or 8 that are in the top 5. So I was just wondering if you had any impressions on whether the shots were harder at limited versus open or about the same, but if
well, I know they specifically changed one of the standard stage because I heard something like 50% of the field zeroed it or something.
At the limited match.
At the limited match, they allowed stacking in the open L10 match because they had zebras and they wanted you to shoot weekend only on them. They were some tough shots.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was crazy.
That didn't even sound fun.
No, that stage was way more fun being able to stack than shoot one on each because they had like a no-shoot target with like 2 inches of or 3 or 4 inches of the A zone at maybe 7 yards. And then they had the zebra at 9 yards. And then they had an open target at 12 yards. And they had the exact mirrored on the other side. And they wanted you to shoot one on each, freestyle, load, strong hand only, and then it's just weak hand only. And I guess 50% of the field zeroed that stage is what the ROs were saying.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's pretty hardcore, man.
Yeah. It's tough.
All right, guys, I want to read one comment to you here that jumped out at me from the Enos thread. And this is an excerpt from a longer post. I'm going to totally take it out of context so we can talk about it. But here's what he says. There are only 10 to 12 folks really in contention for winning each division, if that. So it's not about the top pros. It's about your customer base. You know, the folks that pay the majority of the bills of the sport, they don't want to shoot small, static courses. This is their vacation where they're going to show off their friends, family, and coworkers. We have the ability to make this a big spectacle with great props, so why don't we demand that of any range hosting this event? So what do you think of that? I mean, I think basically the thrust of that is we should give sort of the core of the sport, it should be set up for them. It should be high round count, maybe closer, less technical shooting, but higher speed, more fun. For most people would find that more fun. Nick, do you think that's what you're looking for at Nationals?
No, I really don't. So, you know.
But they pay the bills, man. You fucking top 16 GM dickhead.
I mean, that's true. It's true. But come on, man. The national championship, the point is to find the best shooter. So I'm sorry, but it is about the top 10 guys or whoever.
Then why did they let all the lower class people in there?
Because they got to pay the bills.
Well,
that's part. I mean, they got to fill a match, and I think it's a great opportunity for somebody of any level if they want to shoot a national championship match and go compare themselves against the best. I think that's a great thing for someone of any level to do if they're serious about, you know, finding out where they stack up. But I don't want to see the match dumbed down, if you want to call it that, you know, to some level where, you know, everyone's comfortable and everyone in the field can make every shot. That's not what a national championship is about. It's about finding the best shooter. To me, that's what it is.
The thing I would go back and say is, won't still the best shooter be found if they do, quote, dumb it down to the?
Not necessarily, because you're not really testing a wide enough array of skills, right? You're testing hose fest skills, but probably not.
We're not saying hose fest. We're saying just a match where every shooter can make the shots, and some B or C class dude doesn't go out there and get fucking 17 penalties like I did. I mean,
all right, let me put this to you.
I don't have a fundamental problem with the winner having several penalties either. You know.
I don't either. I mean, we're racing. We're going to go fast, so mistakes are going to happen. So.
Yeah.
Let me put this to you guys. I think that nationals isn't just about finding a national champion. I think it kind of sets the tone for what the sport's going to be. So I know plenty of guys and plenty of clubs, they go to nationals, they see, hey, this is what nationals is. This is what these big matches are. So we're going to set up our club matches to prepare ourselves for these bigger matches that we want to do well at. Really the big matches set the tone for what the sport is. It sets the tone for how people are going to train, how they're going to prepare for the next year. And that's kind of more than just entertainment. What do you think of that, Matt?
It kind of makes sense. I kind of get it.
Well, do you feel that way about it? So your experience at Lim 10 Nationals, when you're like, oh my God, this is crazy hard, is that going to change your training for next year?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it would probably change your perspective on if you go shoot your club match and it's like close range, high speed, and you're kind of like, well, I mean, this is cool, guys, but this isn't helping me. This isn't getting me ready for nationals. So maybe we could, change this up a little.
Well, I don't expect that from a club match. I expect them to set up for the shooters that are there to have fun and stuff. I mean,
you don't want them to start to push those shooters any direction.
I think they will eventually on their own if they want to.
Yeah, I remember kind of a match director made that argument to me. I went to this was back in my IDPA days. I went to a new IDPA club, and everything was 5 and 7 yards away. Everything. Which, I mean, the match director's like, yeah, this is, just to get the new people in, and, we're just going to kind of set it up like this, close, easy, simple, and get the new guys in, and then kind of we'll go from there with the people that we get. And I was like, okay, cool. I went back to that club like 3 months later, same thing. Nothing had gotten any more complicated, any harder. The next year, I went back once, and it was the same shit, and the match director was saying the same stuff. Like, well, we got to set it up for the newer people. And I'm thinking, like, dude, they've been at this, it's the same new people have been at this club for like a year. Are you going to fucking start pushing or not? Like, what are we doing here? Nick, you think that's funny, don't you?
Well, no. I mean, I was just one of my single biggest memories, the takeaways from my very first 1 or 2 major USPSA matches is exactly that. I mean, I came away thinking, wow, there's so much stuff that you really have to be able to do that you don't have to do in any club match I've ever seen. So I better start practicing that.
But you like seeing that stuff in your club match, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if they mixed it in there a little bit. I mean, it's I think my local club matches are actually.
I've seen
really,
video of
really
yours.
Good.
They look pretty good.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good for a club match. I've seen video of a lot of club matches. I think mine are some of the best, but it's still not typically the variety of shot variants and particularly stage planning required a club match versus a major match, at least in my experience. So I just think there's always going to be elements in a major that you're not going to have at a club match. But I'd like to see, to the extent possible, club matches be able to push stages toward the direction of what you see at majors. I just don't think it's necessarily going to be always realistic.
No, of course it's not realistic, but it does sort of, it kind of pushes the sport that direction, right?
Yeah. No, I think I think one other thing the guy was, I do agree the way that someone stated in the thread that nationals should set the tone and not the other way around. Right. Versus like the guy was saying, well, you shouldn't have stuff in nationals that you don't see at local matches, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's kind of retarded. It seems like it should be if anything, it'd be the other way around, right? Like nationals would have the most interesting stuff or the most challenging, or
yeah, you gotta. I think you should test almost every skill you can think of somewhere at the nationals. Yeah.
All right, Hopkins. Before we move on to a shooting question, you got anything else to say about the Open Nationals experience?
Yeah, shooting L10 in minor is stupid.
Like, how stupid are we talking here?
Like, probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done.
Oh, really?
Where did you finish up? Because I didn't even.
Dude,
oh my God, we're not going to get into it.
I won a stage, though.
You did win a stage. Dude, give me my stage win medal back, you little fucker.
You're not getting that, dude.
I've never done that.
Yeah, dude, that's mine forever.
That little dick turd stole my stage win medal.
Finished that bad. 18. Two spots out of top 16. Shooting minor.
They only did top 8 there because there wasn't enough people. So.
All right, guys. Shooting question time. If you shoot all alphas on a long field course without that being your explicit goal, meaning you're concerned with your time, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like you missed an opportunity to push the pace? Or do you feel like that's what we're trying to do as shooters? I did this at a local match recently, and there were several "you are aiming too much" jokes. But the point of the game is to shoot as many alphas as you can, as fast as you can, right? Nick, this is good for you. You happen to clean a big field course. What do you think?
I'm going to feel great about it. I'm not
going to be like, I'm too slow.
Nope. Not unless I know I dropped some time somewhere. But if I'm shooting at a pace I'm happy with, and all my other gun handling and everything goes smoothly, and I shoot all A's, I guarantee that's going to be my best stage of the match. No question.
Hopkins, I imagine you don't feel a whole lot differently.
If I could shoot all A's on everything and not worry about the time, that would be awesome. I unfortunately cannot do that.
I like
but I
to think of
try.
it, I like to think of it as when I shoot any stage, almost always, unless the targets are parceled up in a really fucked way or something, uh, I'm gonna make an attempt at every alpha. I may not hit it, but it's like I'm kind of A's and close C's is the accuracy standard, and I'm at least gonna make an attempt at every alpha. And if I happen to hook up and hit all alphas, that's a good thing. I'm happy about
I
that
think one
personally.
way of explaining that is you're aiming at the A in the head box, not just the head box, right?
Yeah, I typically aim at the A in the head box.
That is something I don't think a lot of people do. So that's just easy points you're giving up.
Or if people see, a medium distance target and it's far enough away that it's tough to hit A's on, but it's close enough that you can shoot it at a relatively brisk pace.
Yeah.
They're thinking, I mean, then it starts to become some trade-off thing. I was like, well, I can go faster. We'll see how many points I drop. But for me, it's like I'm going to shoot at a pace where I'm making an attempt at every A, like a legitimate attempt. I'm not just like whacking the trigger twice when I come up on the target.
I agree.
Yeah. Tim Myers in the group chat says, Austin Host Fest is the true test of skill. Oh my God, what an idiot! Well, guys, it's been another great show. Thank you for listening in, Tim. We appreciate your group chat comments. Should I type in RETARD enter? Boom. All right. Well, thank you guys. Hopkins, if you want to send Hopkins a message, a little love letter.
HopkinsShooting.com.
Yeah, hopkinsshooting.com. Yantolo's on Facebook, Duty, Pistol Forum, TPI, AR15.com, M4Carbine.net, thefiringline.com, whatever.
Most of those are incorrect.
Yes. If you get me at benstegger.com, send us a shooting question. We'd love to talk about it. So send that shit over.